That's just the frustration of reasonable people with reasonable priorities, and it's just all a cycle of violence. This path leads to failure and mass death. It lulls the West, including Israel, into a false sense of security. People who have different priorities, monsters like Hamas, take advantage. Today, I want to show you a tape. It's been released on RT, which is the Russian propaganda channel. It's an interview with senior Hamas official Ali Baraka. Just happened over the course of the last 48 hours. He explains everything that just happened. He explains what happened in this mass terror attack, the worst terror attack since 9/11 in the West, an intelligence failure that is way worse than 9/11, by the way. He explains everything. We need to go through it in detail so you can see just what a lie we all fell for. So many Americans fell for. That everybody has the same priorities, and why that big lie is going to get more innocent children, women, and men murdered, raped, and burned. So here is the tape. Again, this is a senior Hamas official on RT, speaking in Arabic, talking about exactly how Hamas perpetrated this massacre. We're going to stop and start it because we need to explain exactly what he is saying in detail. He's just saying all the quiet parts out loud. In the past couple of years, he says, Hamas has adopted a rational approach. It did not go into any war and did not join the Islamic Jihad in its recent battle. But all of this was Hamas's strategy in preparing for this attack. Of course, we made them think that Hamas was busy governing in Gaza, that it wanted to focus on the 2.5 million Palestinians in Gaza and has abandoned the resistance altogether. All the while, under the table, Hamas was preparing for this big attack. Pause it there for a second. Okay, so let me point out right from the outset, he is saying right from the outset, it was a lie. We never cared about the 2.5 million Palestinians who are now hearing about living in Gaza. Because this is the game. They play on you believing that they care, so that when Israel strikes at Hamas targets and hits the civilians that Hamas is deliberately putting in the way, then it's Israel's fault. Because after all, what kind of human beings wouldn't care if their own babies are getting killed? And the answer is Hamas. As far as the notion that Hamas was ever a reasonable actor, Israel lulled itself into a sense of complacency about this. Well, sure, they'll launch a few rockets every so often, mostly just to prove to their own people that they're still a terrorist group. But in reality, they want to be like a normal governing power. They actually want to be a normal governing power. That is a lie. It is a lie. Every bit of money that flowed into Gaza over the course of the last 20 years was used by Hamas for purposes of murdering Jews. All that money was being used by Hamas for purposes of murdering Jews. Let's continue with the tape. He says, where would Netanyahu take the Israelis who are attacked? To Tel Aviv? We bombed Tel Aviv on the first day of the attack. Does he want to take them to the Galilee? The northern front with Lebanon has opened today. The Galilee is no longer safe for the Zionist enemy. We can bomb the Galilee from inside occupied Palestine. In order to keep the attack secret and successful, he says, the different factions and our allies did not know the 0 hour. But after half an hour, all the Palestinian resistance factions were contacted, as were our allies in Hezbollah and Iran. Okay, pause it there for a second. They have state sponsorship. The Turks, he says, were also notified. They had state sponsorship and state sign-off from Iran, from Hezbollah. As soon as it was going, they let all these people know. The Turks, Iran, Hezbollah, those are all parties that have the same exact world priority as Hamas, who don't care about their own citizens. I mean, just look at what's going on in Iran literally every day of the week. Look at how Lebanon, which was once considered a rose in the Middle East, has devolved into complete chaos and tyranny. He continues. A meeting was held with them 3 hours later at 9 a.m. We updated anyone who contacted us. Even the Russians sent a message and inquired, he says. And they were updated about the situation and about the goals of the war. So even the Russians were brought into the loop. It was all planned, in other words. The most important part of what the senior Hamas official is saying is the very first part. They don't give a good damn about the people in Gaza. They don't care. It was all a lie. They don't care. In fact, they say they don't give any about their own people. They don't. They don't care. In fact, the highest aspiration is death. I'm not saying that. They say that. They say it, and they say it out loud, and they assume that you are so sophisticated that you know better than they do what they are thinking and saying. They say it right to your face. They say it directly to your face. And then you're like, no, it can't be. It just can't be. It must be the Israelis' fault somehow.